saw this not too long ago on the Las Vegas Raiders draft where they saying 5 players that the Las Vegas Raiders should avoid drafting in the first round. This is going to be an interesting topic here
I'm interested to hear these 5
because
players.
these 5 players, I looked at it and scrolled down and I'm like, are you serious? So the first one is LSU linebacker Patrick Queen.
All right, I'm picking up what this person's putting
And
down.
he says that the Raiders badly need a game-changing linebacker outside of Isaiah Simmons, who do not believe that there's no real athletic linebackers in this draft. Patrick Queen has shot up the boards on the mock drafts lately, but most mock drafts having the Raiders selecting Queen with the 19th pick in the draft. That's surprising because I really haven't heard about the Raiders getting him at number 19. But even though he's saying that Queen's speed that the Raiders would like to have at linebacker, but he does not have the size. So
yeah, I mean, are you sure I didn't write this article? I mean, I agree.
No.
I agree 100%. And but you're going to see he is athletic and he is fast.
Right.
So you're going to see, after the combine, more of what he's capable of from an athleticism standpoint. But yeah, so I kind of agree with that. And, the only time I think that they should be touching a linebacker is if they trade back. But yeah, so that's a good number one. Who else do they have on this list?
They have another linebacker. We talked about him in the last podcast, and that was Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma.
I need to meet this person and discuss other things that we have in common. Perhaps our favorite movies.
Yeah. Kenneth Murray, I'm not really too big on Kenneth Murray either at 19 or even in the first round at that. I'm not too big on that either, even though that a lot of mock drafts does include Murray at the 19th pick with us getting CD Lamb at 12. So a lot of mock drafts does say that.
And I can't blame anybody that does a mock draft that's mocking linebackers at the Raiders. It's one of their biggest needs. I'm sure I don't do mock drafts. I don't do, especially I don't do multiple round mock drafts. It's got to be exhausting. And just knowing little bits and tidbits about different teams. If somebody looks at the Raiders and says they need a linebacker, this is the best linebacker and puts it at number 19, I can't fault them for that. But, again, we've been at that ad nauseum.
So the next one that we have, so what's this 2 right here? So we did Patrick Queen and Kenneth Murray. The third one is Jordan Love, quarterback of Utah State. Oh my God. I did a video on this and I never got a chance to upload it, but the guy has 17 interceptions in college, which is not too bad, but
it's also not too good.
It's not too good either, but he's such a risk at quarterback trying to get him in the first round against some other quarterbacks, which I think Jalen Hurts is a little bit better than Jordan Love because Jalen Hurts can make all the throws, but Jordan Love has a problem with the deep ball.
I think that people have Mahomes on the brain, and everyone for some reason thinks that Love likens to Mahomes. I was reading, I don't know if it was NFL.com or something, regarding, Love potentially being, is he the next Mahomes? No. And, we talked about this a little bit with the question that we had. Love could be that guy that's instead of Hurst that's flying up everybody's draft board,
right?
With a combine performance. Yeah, I agree. I don't think the Raiders should be targeting him in the first round at all. If the Raiders are going to pick a quarterback in the first round, they better be going all in and trading for Joe Burrow or Tua.
Yeah, and he's definitely going to go higher in that draft picks too.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so there we go. We're 3 for 3. I agree with all 3 of these picks so far.
Right now they saying Grant Delpit, safety from LSU. They saying that he's a great talent. With any team would be happy to have them, but the Raiders already have a number of solid safeties with LaMarcus Joyner, Jonathan Adams, and Carl Joseph. We don't know what's going to happen with Carl Joseph, knowing that he's a unrestricted free agent.
Yes, he is, and the Raiders would have to re-sign him, which I'm not against, and we can talk about that maybe in another podcast in the offseason. But yeah, I mean that makes sense. I am not 100% sold on Carl Joseph, so if they didn't want to re-sign him and they thought Delpit was just a total dynamo and a playmaker at safety and somebody that's going to, along with Jonathan Abram, shore up their secondary for years to come, then go for it. But just like linebacker, I feel like there's some cornerbacks that can really help and slide into the starting role right now that would be better off, picking them, because right now they have two second-year players now at cornerback, and questions about Darryl Worley. So that's what they got.
And I had that argument with Wardley during the week in some Raiders groups. I had an argument with some people saying that, oh, he's a good leader, and he can help out the younger backs, and I'm like, all fine and dandy. He could be that leader, but he's not a great cover guy.
No, and
He's just not great covering that, and that's what the argument is. Oh, he could do this, he could do that, but nobody's talking about his ability to defend.
And nobody's talking about the fact that Darryl Worley would take a contract just to be a leader locker room guy.
Yep.
He still wants solid cornerback money, which, again, like you said, he doesn't warrant a ton of money. He wasn't a playmaker. He had that one great one-handed interception last year.
Right.
Outside of that, I mean, you saw that guy, much like most of the Raiders secondary, just get torched pretty much nonstop.
Yeah, definitely nonstop. And the last one is AJ Espina from the defensive end from Iowa. He's saying that he really don't have any bad thing to say about AJ, but more the issue is with the drafting position. So I think we could actually wait to go get him in later rounds, not even in the first round. So knowing that we got Farrell, we got Cleveland Farrell and Max Crosby at 109, I could see we getting him at a later round, to help out the depth chart. But I mean, I don't see nothing bad about this guy. This guy balled out when I saw him play at Iowa.
He's fine. He is literally the definition of late first round pick potential. I could see him going anywhere between the mid first round to the mid second round kind of guy, unless he really he really runs and tests poorly at the combine. Yeah, there's no need for that. Last year was the defensive end draft. This year is the wide receiver draft. So I think that the Raiders are going to stay away from the D lineman until, like you said, the third round, where I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if they pick up one or two in the third round.
Right.
But at that point, you can go ahead and maybe get somebody that's a little more specialized in their talents, like Arden Key was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on him, but somebody like that where the potential is there. One of those Reggie McKenzie second round picks.
Yeah.
But in the third or fourth round, you can go ahead and do that.
Well, that is the 5 picks that I think we agreed on, 1 out of all 4 or 2 out of all 5 or one of them.
No, I mean, I agree with all of these. I agree with every single one. I don't want the Raiders to call any of those guys names at number 19 or number 12, regardless. Maybe in 2 weeks, the combine happens, the pro days happen, some things, free agency starts moving some ways, and the dynamic kind of changes. But as of right now, I'm sticking to my story. Wide receiver at 12, or best defensive player available at 12. And then you get your wide receiver or your cornerback
at 19.
Or if you want to get saucy, the best running back at
19. Yeah, that was a good hot take for DeAndre Swift.